Hey everyone, how y'all doing today and welcome back to another meta guide. So we are moving into the Great League, but we actually have all three leagues available. So we're going to have the Great, the Ultra, and the Master League. So let me know which one your favorite is. I mean, at this point we've had all three leagues during the Might and Mastery season. So are you enjoying the Great Ultra Master League? I'm going to be honest, I'm actually enjoying all of them. I really am. I actually have been enjoying them. It seems like a breath of fresh air to me. Even in the Master League, even with all the Kirams running around, and Kiram is on every team, but we'll talk about that when we make a guide for the Master League, and I think I will make a guide for the Master League, because I didn't last week when it was available, so I see no reason why I wouldn't have it coming out this time around, but yeah, that's what I plan on doing. But yeah, let's just go ahead and dive right into the Open Great League. So for the S rank, we got the Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is so strong because there's a lot of strong ghost types that were buffed, right? Including Dusknoir, Glowing Corsola is still good. That technically was nerfed, but Sableye, even though Sableye has Dazzling Gleam, Jellicent, a lot of great Pokemon that Mandibuzz just does really well against. That's probably what skyrocketed Mandibuzz, even though Mandibuzz was still really good. And then we have Clodsire, so you could run, of course, Clodsire with Stone Edge or Sludge Bomb, and then Earthquake and Poison Sting as the fast move. It really depends on the team you want to run, but Clodsire, it's just a fantastic Pokemon. You'll definitely see it for sure. Then we have Lapras with the newly given Psywave as well as Sparkling Area. So Lapras has been a fan favorite of mine to run. It's just unfortunate because I don't have a good IV1 for the Great League, but also for the Ultra League. So I'm not even building one for the Ultra League yet until I get a good IV1 for that. But I'm just using my lucky one for the Great League, I'm going to be honest. But yeah, I've seen it with Skull Bash. I've seen it with Ice Beam. Ice Beam is a legacy move. I've also been asked, because Ice Shot is a legacy fast move as well, and I've been asked, hey, I have this good one. Should I TM away Ice Shot to give it Psywave? And right now, at least, Psywave is the move you want to go. So if it's a really good one, honestly, I feel like I would do it, but I don't know. Ice Shot is not a bad move, and, it could potentially get buffed in the future as well, so if you have extras, I would keep one with Ice Shot. But if you don't have extras, you really want to build it, I think it is worth TMing Psywave onto Lapras, just because Lapras is so good. But that's really up to you. That's your decision. I can't make that for you. Ice Beam is also a legacy move, but Ice Beam or Skull Bash, really depending on your team comp. I personally have been running mine with Ice Beam. But again, it's a lucky one that already had Ice Beam. So I've just been running what I had until I get a good one. I should try trading for these, to be honest. And then we have Malamar. Malamar actually did receive... Well, I don't know. You let me know if you think it was a buff. Foul Play is cheaper to get to, but it also doesn't do it as much damage. I feel like it's a buff, but it's still really good. You get to Foul Play and Super Power at the same time now, so really strong. And then we have Sableye. The non-purified Sableye is the one you definitely want to run. Shadow Claw, Foul Play, of course, and then you have either Dazzling. Dazzling Gleam is the new move on Sableye, which I personally like, but you could also run Power Gem. I've been running the Shadow one as well. I really like the Shadow one for Sableye, and then we have Glowing Corsola. Nightshade was nerfed this season, but Glowing Corsola is still really good, still super bulky, and still powerful. Then we have Grumpig. So Grumpig got Psywave, but it also got Dynamic Punch, and Dynamic Punch was buffed. So Grumpig is really good. It does have to watch out, though, for all those ghost types, because it is a psychic type, so it is weak to it, but to ghost types. But still, obviously, if you can avoid those matchups, Grumpig is really good. It also has Shadow Ball, so it can hit super effective damage towards ghost types, so it still has play there. It's a really good Pokemon. I've enjoyed using Grumpig. And then we have Dusknoir, or Shadow Dusknoir. Hex or Astonish really depends what you want to aim for. Hex generates energy so fast, and then Astonish just does a lot of damage. So Dusknoir, definitely a really strong one, a really great pick. Then we have Diggersby. Diggersby is just not buffed this season, but it's just been fantastic all around, right? Obviously, all the ghost types being buffed. Technically, I guess it was buffed because of all the ghost types being buffed, and Diggersby is a normal type, so it is resisting that. It is resisting the ghost damage, right? Double resisting, so it is fantastic in that regard. And then we have Feraligatr, or the shadow version of Feraligatr. By the time you're watching this, the Community Day Classic had already happened, so you hopefully have a good one. And you could also have enough. Well, I was gonna say enough XLs, but you only need that for like the Master Premier and things like that. So, you know, but no, I mean, Feraligat's fantastic. Of course, the Community Day Classic won't help you with the Shadow one, I guess, but still, both Shadow and Regular are really good. And then moving on to the A rank, Morpeko. So Morpeko, another fantastic pick. Morpeko is super fast with Aura Wheel, Thundershock, right? Aura Wheel, and then I like Psychic Fangs, but sometimes you see it with C-Bomb. And then we have Claydol. Claydol, I'm going to be honest, I don't know if this is a little bit too highly ranked. It is good. It has Mud Slap, and then it has Rock Tomb, which is a fantastic move. I feel like I should have swapped this with Credilli, because Credilli is definitely better than Claydol. But the reason this feels underwhelming is just because of, I guess, all the ghost types, and because this is a Psychic type, kind of gets shredded by that. It's still a good Pokemon, but probably more so for limited metas. And then we have Jellicent. So Jellicent, with that Hex buff, is going to help it out so fast, gets to the moves really fast. So I like Jellicent a lot. And then we have, Togetic. Okay, so Togetic, pretty fun Pokemon to use, pretty good Pokemon. I've actually used this day one, and it was a lot of fun to use. So I think Togetic is definitely really solid in this meta. It gets to the moves really fast with the Fairy Wind. And then it also has that Dazzling Gleam. It is Dazzling Gleam, right? That was buffed this season. I think it is Dazzling Gleam. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Then we have Gastrodon, really great Mud Slap user. We all know Gastrodon, right? Glowing Weezing, oh man, Glowing Weezing with that Sludge. Absolutely love it. I've loved using this in the Great and Ultra League. This has been fantastic for me to use. Absolutely fantastic. I love using this. It gets to the moves really fast. I've been running it with Budo Swing as well. So yeah, you could also run Play Rough or Overheat, maybe more so in the Ultra League, but to get to the moves faster, Budo Swing's probably the way to go, just for all the ghost types, right? And then we have Azumarill. Azumarill wasn't buffed this season, but it is a fantastic one as well. Just it's always been a good Pokemon, you know, Azumarill. You know, it was nerfed at one point, but then it came back, right? And then we have Primeape. Primeape, as a fighting type, really good stuff. Gets to Rage Fist really fast. I like using this one as well. And then we have Drapion, always a fantastic save swap. You know, all the Psywave buffs, Psywave uses this season, you know, Drapion is resisting Psywave, so gonna definitely do really well there. Of course, it's gonna do well against the Ghost types. You know, yeah, it's weak to Mud Slap, but that's never stopped Drapion. You know, Drapion is just fantastic. Gets to move so fast. The B rank, we got Pangoro. Pangoro is absolutely amazing. Well, it's decent. It's decent. I mean, it does resist Psywave, which is why I like Pangoro this season. It is weak to fighting types, but the thing is, like, I feel like fighting types, you definitely do see, like, the Primeape, you know, or the Annihilate, but they're not as common, probably because of the Psywave uses. It's kind of difficult to use fighting types, I feel like, in this meta, so I think Pangoro will shine in that regard. And then we have Jump Pluff, so Acrobatics was buffed this season, which is pretty cool. Jump Pluff is pretty cool Pokemon. Now, if you're running the non-Shadow, I like Acrobatics. I was using Acrobatics. You could use Acrobatics on the Shadow one as well, or you could use Aerial Ace. I've seen Aerial Ace plus Acrobatics, but I also like Energy Ball, so it's really up to you what you prefer. And then we have Machoke. Okay, another fighting type. Maybe a little bit too high on the list, but another one that's not too bad to use. And then we have Steelix. Steelix with Thunderfang. Psychic Fangs. You could go Breaking Swipe, you could go Crunch, you could go Earthquake, really depends on your team comp. And then we have Credilli. Yeah, Credilli definitely should have been buffed. Or not buffed, it was buffed. But it definitely should have been higher on the list because I like Credilli a lot. So Credilli is absolutely fantastic. And man, that Rock Tomb is really no joke. Debuffing your opponent, incredible stuff. And then we have Ferret. So Ferret with the Sucker Punch, Trailblaze, Swift. I was actually impressed with this one as well when I was not only when I was using it, when I was battling against it as well. And then we have Emolga. So Emolga, of course, the Acrobatics was buffed, which is pretty cool. Discharge actually was buffed as well, so Emolga definitely has a lot of play. Annihilate is another one that has a lot of play as well. Well, it's okay. I mean, again, like, fighting types are hard to use because of the Psywave uses, but it's not bad. It's just like there's also ghost types that kind of keep Annihilate in check, so that's why I put it down here. I still think it's good, but it kind of needs to be good alignment. Then we have Galarian Moltres with Sucker Punch. kind of a difficult Pokemon to get, but it's also been out for years now, so you may have had one. We've had Master Balls. There's a good chance you probably have one. And then Wigglytuff, I would say, is the best Charm user in this meta. The other options, we do have Carbink. So Carbink is okay. Stunfisk. Stunfisk is another one that's good. That gets to the moves fast, but it doesn't really have the damage output. I feel like this charge was buffed, though. Guzzlord. I like Guzzlord a lot. Mawak was actually high on the list last season, right? But now it's in the other options. It is good. You definitely will see it. Could have benefited from going in the B rank. And then we have Golurk, another Mud Slap user. And then we have Clefable. Then we have Quagsire. Quagsire, I feel like not the best Mud Boy because I mean Gastrodon is a thing, but the best like Mud Shot user. I feel like well, to be fair, Swampert was buffed. I don't have Swampert on this list. I mean it was buffed because it got Sludge. So Swampert's actually pretty good, but Quagsire is good as well. Toxapex is always a lot of fun. It's just like Blind is just a bad move, but other than that, it's just a good Pokemon because it's so tanky, right? And then we have Alolan Sandslash, which is pretty good, especially with the fighting types being kind of difficult to use. If you're not seeing a fighting type, that's going to help out Sandslash a lot. Then we have Superior, and then we have Drifblim. I like Drifblim a lot, as you all know, last season, right? And then we have Blastoise. Blastoise did receive rollout this season, so I feel like I like Blastoise more in the Ultra League, but it's still really good in this meta. You know, again, maybe put this where Claydol is and put Claydol in the other option, something like that. So, but let's move on to the solid team options. So for the first team, we have a double Psywave team, so Grumpig and Malamar. Instead of the Malamar, you could go with like Lapras if you want to, and then I have Clodsire in the lead, of course. Backline, not really going to appreciate the Mandibuzz if you happen to see one. You do have neutral damage with the Dynamic Punch on Grumpig and then the Superpower on Malamar. You gotta kind of lure out the Mandibuzz. But then on Clodsire, it's like Stone Edge. If you want to run Stone Edge, that will help out. But even if you don't, even if you're running Sludge Bomb, you're still hitting for neutral damage on the Mandibuzz. Next up, we have Lapras with Sableye or Shadow Sableye. I'd go with the Shadow one if you have it. I know it's a big investment, but I just like the damage, and I think it's a really good safe swap. And then Mandibuzz. This team is another team that will struggle to Mandibuzz, but Mandibuzz is neutral against Mandibuzz. And then with Sableye, you do have Dazzling Gleam at least. And then with Lapras, Ice Beam. So you still have play against the Mandibuzz, right? Obviously, the backline hates fairies, so something to keep in mind about that, especially Wigglytuff. You kind of have to lure it out. And then next up we have Diggersby in the lead with Togetic, and then Feraligatr, or the shadow version of Feraligatr. I do like Feraligatr as a safe swap. I think it's a pretty good safe swap, even in this meta. And then next up we have Galarian Weezing, or the shadow version of Galarian Weezing with Ferret and Wigglytuff. So, yeah, pretty cool. I think you could use Ferret as a safe swap because it is weak to fighting, but as I said, fighting is kind of difficult to run, so you know, I mean, there could be a fighting type, but like if there's not, Ferret could do pretty good, I think, in this meta, especially continuously boosting its attack, right? And then next up we have Credilli with Drapion. Drapion always a great safe swap, and then Emolga. I love Credilli because of the Rock Tomb debuff. I think this is fantastic. I was also using it a lot in the Ultra League. And then next up we have Wigglytuff with Double Ghost, so Dusknoir and Jellicent. So Dusknoir can run Astonish or it can run Hex. So whichever one you prefer. Do you want to do the damage with Astonish, or do you want to get to the moves faster with Hex? And of course the backline hates Mandibuzz, but Wigglytuff loves Mandibuzz. So yeah, let me know what you think of these teams. Let me know what team you plan on playing, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.